Today, we make the Angostura Fizz. The Angostura Fizz is like a gin fizz, but instead of gin, we use Angostura Bitters as the base. The recipe appears to be an original recipe created by Angostura Bitters in Trinidad, and you can easily come across their recipe guide from 1912 online. That appears to possibly be a reprint from an earlier version. I'm not entirely sure about that. And the recipe also comes up in Jack's Manual from 1908. However, they forgot the fizzy part in that recipe. Trader Vic has a version, and maybe most popularly, it shows up in the Gentleman's Companion from Charles Baker. And I absolutely love his description of this drink. He describes it as mild, and it either suits you or it doesn't. Since a drink does contain an egg white, you will find many modern recipes call to dry shake this, where you shake everything without ice first, and then shake again with ice the second time. And when it comes to egg white drinks overall, you will find not only the dry shake method, but you'll find the reverse dry shake method, and even people calling to take the coil off of your strainers and to shake it with your cocktail strainer coil. But nowadays, I opt to do none of those things and instead just shake as I normally do, ideally with a large ice cube if there is an extra one lying around in my freezer. And the question you need to ask yourself when it comes to shaking these egg white cocktails is, what are you trying to accomplish? Do you want that tall, foamy head for looks, or do you want it for texture, flavor, or its doggy aroma? Do you want the juxtaposition between the liquid in the glass and the foam on the top, two separate textures converging in your mouth? Or do you want that egg white to affect the texture of the entire drink, or at least attempt to do that? I always come back to the Ramus Gin Fizz, where the best ones are basically completely emulsified. There's a creamy combined texture through the entire drink, ideally keeping that consistency from the start to the finish. So I like to shake everything together in hopes of getting a drink where the egg white creates that luxurious texture throughout my entire drink and not just a separate tall foamy head. You still get some of the foam, and I like that. But if foam is what you want, then just ditch the shake, the dry shake, the reverse dry shake, the coil. Ditch all of that and instead get yourself an old drink mixer or a new one, because that'll give you the most foam possible. Now, I'm not telling you all that this is the proper or the best or exact way to make an egg white cocktail, but this is just the easiest way, and I like the texture that results from it best. So let's go ahead and make the Angostura Fizz. The recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of powdered sugar, but I'm using ½ an ounce of a rich simple syrup. That'll give us the same amount of sugar and sweetness in our drink. 1 ounce of lemon juice. 1 full ounce of Angostura Bitters. Now make sure after you pour it in that you put that restrictor back on your bottle, or you will have a nightmare the next time you need a single dash of Angostura Bitters. ½ an ounce of cream. And 1 egg white. I will double strain this into the glass in case there are any eggy bits. Now I'm going to add about 2 ounces of club soda. But as Baker says, turn it into a goblet and fill to suit individual taste with club soda, seltzer, vichy, or whatever lures the mind. So there you go, the Angostura Fizz from the early 1900s. You don't need a garnish for this one. I just wanted to make it look nice for camera and for B-roll and for the thumbnail. I'm going to try it first with no straw. Cheers. Even by skipping the dry shake, the reverse dry shake, the coil, the drink mixer, you still get lots of foam, and you're using soda water too. So extra foam there as well. This is delicious, and I'm going to use a word you would not expect me to use. I was not expecting to use this word. It is mild. There's a full ounce of Angostura Bitters in here. And maybe I have just subjected my palate to so much Angostura Bitters over the years that I just like a heavy amount of it. When I make a Planter's Punch, I sometimes put 10 dashes in there. So maybe I'm not the best person to judge this, But it is not overwhelmingly Angostura. It is distinctly Angostura Bitters, which I also have a hard time explaining because people automatically go to like clove and cinnamon. But those two specific flavors, I can't isolate that within Angostura. Clove is such a dominant flavor. I don't find diluted Angostura like this to come near a clove allspice dram or a clove tincture. It doesn't taste like cinnamon syrup. It has this a dark dried botanical bark herb quality to it that I love. I just love it. There's so many bitter options out there nowadays, and it's not that none of them are great, but I still think that Angostura is the best by far. It has the familiarity of other cream-based fizzes, especially when you think about the gin fizz or a Ramus gin fizz. But without that orange flower water, that's where I think the mildness comes through, because you don't have the florality and the sometimes pungency you can get from the gin and orange blossom combo. This is surprisingly crushable. The little bit of cream in there helps give it a great texture, but it doesn't come forward like a huge cream-based drink. The egg white, the soda water, lengthening it out, giving it a great texture, and then plenty of acidity there from the lemon juice. I love this. This is like something I want to come back to. I'm sure this recipe's been shared on YouTube or Instagram, elsewhere. I don't think I've ever seen it though. I personally have never seen anyone make this. I don't really know if I've seen many people talk about it. But when you look at modern day interpretations of cocktails that had a heavy amount of Angostura, people sometimes treat those as if it's like a new thing. And it's not. Like, that's been going around since Angostura has been making Angostura. Obviously, they'd like you to use more of it because they can sell more of it. So it is no surprise that you would find this in an Angostura booklet. When it comes to the ABV of this drink, it's not light. It's going to be a little bit less, obviously, than using making a cocktail with like 1.5 ounces or 2 ounces of gin. But Angostura Bitters is 44.7% ABV, and we're using a full ounce of it here. So there is booze in here. It is a cocktail, and even though I put it in this big tall glass, this glass holds like 8.5 ounces. So it's not that long or tall of a drink. It's been a very long time since I've had a Trinidad sour which uses Angostura Bitters. I can't really compare it to that, but I'll tell you, when it comes to the Angostura Colada, I like this better, like for sure. Without a doubt, I prefer this 120-year-old drink to the new modern like pina colada riffs with Angostura. And this is probably, haven't had too many, but out of all of the Angostura based drinks I've had, this has been my favorite so far. I don't think everyone's going to love it because it is Angostura Bitters centric. But if you like Angostura and you like the fizz drinks, gin fizz, Ramus gin fizz, then you should absolutely love this. This should be like a home run for you. All right, there you go, folks. Angostura Fizz. I love it. It's delicious. It's going on the menu. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like below. Consider subscribing. And hey, if you want to support this channel more, check out my Patreon page. Otherwise, see you on the next one.